data is strange. I'm not even certain all of it is Forerunner, strictly speaking. Strands of this code are older than Zeta Halo itself. Possibly older than the Forerunners themselves. For all we know about them, there's so much we don't.
I continue to be impressed with the intricacies of it. How many years have I been here now? 2,000 or 20,000? Longer? Does it even matter? Why did my makers entrust me with this installation? As its custodian, I feel there is much that I do not know, or that has been kept from me. Its history is complicated, constantly rewritten. But why? There is much to learn, and if nothing else, I have time. I continue to be impressed with the intricacies of this installation. Trillions of systems working in harmony, forever shifting, adapting, an ecosystem to preserve life, and when necessary, destroy it, for the greater good.
This thing is old, very old, and full of data. Well, if you can call it data. Most of it is encrypted in ways I don't understand, but I was able to figure out one small part. There are more out there. I can feel them communicating. Can data feel lonely? Because this data feels lonely. Existing for 100,000 years, alone. What use is all the power in the universe without someone to talk to?
As I explore this world, I find answers that only seem to exist to pose new questions. One thing is certain. This installation was built differently than the others. A myriad of Reformation spires can be deployed. Indeed, have been deployed when requested. To complete the circle. To ensure its inhabitants are preserved. Or perhaps I should say, detained.
There's more here. This isn't the first time this ring has repaired itself. What we're seeing in the landscape around us is an ancient process. It seems like these installations are almost impossible to destroy.
Almost.
Assuredly, many before me have observed these crumbling artifacts, gazed at the landscape in which they sit. How did they feel? There is so much here that I would assume was interpreted as beauty. But perhaps not. What are these relics to the past? Are they a celebration? Or a warning? Symbols of hope, or something darker?
There's evidence of an entire civilization that once inhabited this ring. But not Forerunner. Older. Different.
Time continues to be on my mind. I now believe these relics to contain a warning. A message from the past. But from whom? And why? As I look to the sky, I am struck by a thought. This ring, a constant loop. Are we all fated to repeat the sins of the past?
How many rings have you visited, Chief?
Too many.
Well, there's information stored in here about all of them. Memories, data, deliberate, fractured. So much history. None of it clear.
Close to deciphering the runes. Perhaps I will learn who left them. My makers, the Forerunner's greatest fear was understood to be the great parasite. The Flood. A scourge that almost wiped out everything. I now believe this hypothesis to be incorrect. Their greatest fear was losing their power. The fear of a master who would become a slave.
This is hard to explain.
Try me.
There's a profound regret woven through everything I can decipher. Grief, even. Tens of thousands of years old, and the sorrow still feels fresh. This installation has a troubled memory. That was the last one. It's tragic. A civilization that had it all under control. Until they didn't. There's so much here. It feels kind of like a confession. Imagine needing to carve your apology onto an eternal slate. But not to say sorry, to warn, to confess.
Sounds familiar.
It does, doesn't it?